At the end of your life, what will be your legacy? What will you leave behind for future generations? For the world, join the World Messenger, Izabela Lundberg, each week as she brings you a new distinguished guest from the business, sports, or entertainment world to share their success, their struggles, and their lessons. They will share their insights into current hot topics that affect everyone. Izabela facilitates an intimate, vulnerable environment to find the true value of humanity and real leadership. Are you ready for your legacy? The legacy that matters?
Hello, my beautiful friends. It's Izabela Lundberg here at the World Messenger, and I'm inviting you for another epic episode of Legacy Leader Show. Today, we have a powerhouse woman that is going to share the secret sauce of her tremendous success and what she's doing to dominate the industry, how she's branded herself, how she's positioned herself, and how she's succeeding and creating high performance with high impact. She is definitely someone you guys want to know from brands that she's been involved. Oh my goodness, she will drop all of those names. I will let her share. But the beauty is, how do you really tap into that amazing passion and do what you love that reflects in everything you do, from speaking, training, co-hosting, and definitely making magic happen. Without further ado, let me introduce you to Julie Hruska. Julie, how are you?
I'm good, Izabela. I'm so excited to finally be here. We've tried to schedule this for a while, and I'm just really happy to be on your show. It's an honor to be a guest.
Likewise, and I love your energy. We're kind of in same circles and seeing each other's posts, but also just dealing with the regular day-to-day, right? With clients, execution, and just in general, great content sharing and thought-provoking information. So it's just so awesome to be able to look and observe. And you've been traveling and doing all kinds of fun stuff this year.
I really have been on multiple fronts for work, with my kids, so personal and professional. I love to travel. I'm kind of setting myself up for moving my business to a travel-based system when my youngest son graduates from high school, just because I love exploring different parts of the earth. I love the cultures, the scenery. It's just amazing to immerse yourself in that. And I feel like you learn so much when you travel as well.
I love that because I traveled before COVID happened quite a bit myself. And it's like older you get, you now know which territory you love the most, right? Where you want to come back, which ones you want to still discover, but you can start to be more conscious and conscientious and also more strategic. Seems like you balance very well business and pleasure. So with high performance coaching and just the overall branding and everything you've been doing, I love how you're also strategic. You're a single mom, and also helping your children as well, your clients, and juggling all of that. What would you say is one of the key contributors to your success to make that happen?
Well, you know, the whole premise of high performance from my perspective is a holistic approach. It's looking at your career, relationships, health, and finance to determine where you're functioning at your optimal levels and where you're not, and then going from where you are right now to where you want to be. So I believe that integrity is everything. I want to live it. I want to be a role model for my clients and for my kids and my community. And so for me, it's so important to have that sense of equanimity between your personal and your professional. And so in the process of coaching clients, I had to go through the process myself of really examining each area of my life and getting clarity on what I wanted. And that's where I'm in the process of right now. With this summer, I spent 33 days in Europe working and being with my kids and taking them. We went to 5 different countries. And so that creates that equanimity that I'm looking for, where, you know, some people say you can't have it all. I believe you can, but you have to be strategic with it. You have to create a plan and you have to be willing to do the work. It's not going to happen overnight.
I love that. And obviously, a living example, you walk your talk, which is really important because we see a lot of people preaching to the choir, but they're not necessarily walking to the talk and don't understand what it takes to be able to create that or design or take a risk or be that person that it's willing to take a risk, and not only in their personal, but as you said, financial and all the other elements that you mentioned as a key. What would you suggest for everybody watching and listening that want to make a shift? Where should they start?
I think it all starts with what I call the 3 C's: clarity, courage, and commitment. So the foundational element of that is clarity. You have to be clear on where you are right now. And that sometimes is very challenging for people because you have to really take all the mask away, take all of the titles away, and be willing to look at yourself and say, what's working and what's not working? Where am I happy? Where am I fulfilled? And where am I not? And from there, looking at that list of things that aren't working, you can create a plan to shift those, to fix those. So that's where some of the goals come from. So you have to start there. And then once you identify what's working and what's not working, you also have to have clarity on the vision of the life you desire. So many people get into a work mode and they're like a hamster on a wheel, and they just every day get up, go through the motions, rinse and repeat, instead of being intentional about going on this journey to where they really want to be. So having that ideal vision and also identifying what's working and what's not working is the place to start.
That is powerful. You know, it's so funny, Julie. So many times people think that silver bullet or silver lining is in something more complex than those 3 C's. And because we're so programmed, there has to be more to it, right?
Yes.
Versus simplifying it, going inward and really nail that down. And that is the huge springboard moving forward. With that in mind, obviously, before you became this amazing super coaching content creator and great brand that is recognized on LinkedIn, how did you really started yourself and got there, and how was the process for you? What did you discover about yourself, but what did you discover about how actually to create this amazing lifestyle that you want?
Oh gosh, I've had such a unique twisting trail in my life. I actually grew up in a very conservative Christian family where it was kind of expected that you grow up, you get married, you have kids, you stay at home with your kids, you raise them. That's your life. And that's the path I followed. So I got engaged at 19, married at 20, started having kids in my early 20s. And suddenly, fast forward a decade, I had this awakening experience where I was back in school working on my master's degree. And I had all of these people talking to me and calling me by name and asking my opinion. And it was just like an asteroid literally hit me in the head. And everything was clear. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's what happened. It was that moment, that catalyst moment where I realized I'd spent a decade almost disappearing. I was Ethan, Sydney, and Aaron's mom. I was my former husband's wife, and I didn't really have an identity beyond them. And it really hit me that I had a purpose that was so much greater. And so that started the path of re-examining my life, looking at what's working and what's not working. Unfortunately, one of the things that wasn't working was my marriage. It had developed some really unhealthy patterns, and we had to dissolve that. And in that process, I ended up with primary custody of my 2 younger kids and full custody of my oldest son. And so that process suddenly took me from someone who'd been married since I was 20 years old to a single mom in my mid-30s of 3 kids. And I was a kindergarten teacher at the time. So it was a lot. And then as a kindergarten teacher in the state of North Carolina, I was making, for a family of 4, what would be under the poverty line. So I knew that that was not the life I wanted to give my kids. So then the next step was, what do I want to give my kids? How am I going to do that? And it wasn't a quick jump. I actually had really gotten into power yoga. And I started my first LLC. I thought, I'm going to quit teaching. For a while, I was teaching yoga and teaching kindergarten and raising my 3 kids. So I would work all day, get my kids dinner, go to the yoga studio, teach. And then I ended up managing the studio and then come home, put them to bed. It was like 19, 20-hour days. And again, not the ideal life that I wanted. But during that time, when I started my first LLC with my yoga business, which was Awakened Life Yoga, I realized that I didn't have the skills I needed to be an entrepreneur and to work from home. So I did what everyone does nowadays. I Google searched, right? Like how to run an effective business, skills that I needed. And I came upon an online course that was called High Performance Academy. And the High Performance Academy was this amazing program that talked not about exactly what you need with business, but what you need to be successful in life: clarity, courage, energy, productivity. So I took this online course. It had an in-person event. So I flew to California, went to the event, and I'm like, this is not just what I need. This is what everyone needs. And I'm going to take it to the world. And that's how I started the last 6 years of developing my high performance coaching company.
That is a powerful journey. And obviously taking massive action, since like you are absolutely always on forefront. What do I need to do? And jump in and figure it out as you go. I think that is phenomenal trait, but also aligning and figuring out what resonates with you and from who, and then how do you apply, and then applying effectively right away and tweak it, right?
Yes, that's what people don't realize. It's not like you set a goal and it's just going to be a straight line. And I think the problem is that when life gets hard, people just stop. They hit a wall, and instead of figuring out how to go around it, through it, or over it, they just stop. They get knocked down and they're like, it's too hard. I'll just do what I'm doing. And they go back to that hamster on the wheel. But the hamster on the wheel never gets there. And so that becomes the second of the C's, the courage. You have to believe in your ability to figure things out. You have to have the courage to take risk. And it's very risky for a single mom of 3 to quit a salaried job with benefits, even though it wasn't paying that well, and go into a business, let alone teaching yoga, which also I found out really quickly doesn't make a lot of money, but you can, you can. If I would have stayed that course, I would have done more retreats and things. So I had a plan, but yeah, it's always about tweaking it. And then when you find your purpose, that shifts everything.
I love that. And I love also that, you obviously, we all learn by experiences, right? We know what feels right. We know what it's not for us. Could be maybe right industry, but not the right environment or right group or whatever. More we self-discover and more we're aware, we can make a better decisions, can we? And do you mind sharing, how did you start then building not only your business, but also your beautiful brand and visibility, and also your voice? Because that last piece you just mentioned, I'm sure was a huge springboard for everything.
Yeah, it's been so interesting because at first I wanted a lot of balance in my life. I wanted the yin and the yang energies. So I was like, I'm going to keep teaching yoga. Instead of what I did when I quit teaching and I went all into yoga. I was smarter this time round. So for this shift, I was still teaching yoga. I was teaching 7 days a week, and I tiptoed into coaching. So I was coaching 2 days a week. And it was about 50-50 as far as my salary went at that point. And it was really nice. I had a peaceful life because high performance is very intense. High performance coaching is all about results. So when you're helping people get results, you're doing the hard work, and it's uncomfortable sometimes for clients. So it requires a lot of energy. And then I had the balance with yoga, but it had me in 2 worlds. And to really achieve success in something, you have to go all in. So I started to make that shift at the beginning of 2020, and boom, pandemic comes. Suddenly, I'm having to reevaluate the way I'm getting clients, because I had gotten all of my clients from in-person networking. I had an account on LinkedIn that I opened in 2019. I put a few things up. It didn't go anywhere. I had like 434 followers, and most of them were like friends and colleagues. And so I didn't have a plan, but I knew the necessity was going to drive it. So I woke up on March 16th of 2020, and I said, I'm going to live on LinkedIn. This is where my clients are. I'm going to produce content that helps people. It's either going to teach them something or it's going to provoke thought. And I stayed the course with that, consistently giving content that either provokes thought or teaches a high performance habit or something in the realm of high performance. And it snowballed. I was very, very blessed that I found my tribe, my people, the people that my work resonated with, and my audience grew and grew. And in 2020 and 2021, every single one of my clients came from LinkedIn.
That is fantastic. So for everybody watching and listening, this is a great testament how we can shift when we chose with clarity what that is, right? And when we take the courage. And that last third C, I think it's where a lot of people are tripping. It's like, are you giving up too quickly? And then also, as you said, you stayed the course, you created daily great content, and then you connect with people, had the right conversations. And as a result, people were like, oh, she can help me with this. Oh, she can do this. And look at that now. For such a short period of time, it's such a phenomenal success. And I just want to congratulate you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's very humbling to me, because I truly went in with the intention of helping people and honestly keeping my lights on. Like, that's how dire it was, and that's how high the necessity is. And necessity plays a big part in the third C, which is commitment. Because if you don't have something you're working for, or someone, like for me, it's my children. If you don't have a goal you're working toward and a necessity to achieve success, when life gets hard, you quit. So that commitment is waking up each and every day, focused on your goals and doing the work. And over time, if you love what you do, it doesn't feel like work, right? Because you're aligned with your purpose. But most people fail in the follow through. In fact, 92% of people don't achieve the goals they set out to achieve. 92%.
Yeah, that is very high percentage. And I see this now a lot in corporate arena, in addition to individual contributors, right? Why organizations don't get, because they're not in alignment with each other. There's competing agendas, competing priorities, and disconnect, and not having the right conversations. And obviously through our work, we're living examples, and specifically in your case, how important it is to connect and then speak up and take a charge and take a leap and take a risk, and, failing quickly, fix it and adjust and keep going.
Right. And that, everything I'm talking about here with individuals also relates to companies and corporations. Mm-hmm. It's about having a clear vision, having the courage to take risks, to be innovative, to be creative, and committing to that path. And like you just mentioned, a lot of companies have competing agendas. And if executive boards, if teams could get aligned, at least with one common vision or mission that they're working toward, that's the beginning of success. And you see that with like your Fortune 50, your Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies. They're aligned and congruent with their mission, with their values. They know what they're working toward. They know what they're all about.
Mm-hmm. And that is so powerful because, and I love that, again, we're contrasting how important it is to really understand who we are individually as independent and individual contributor, and then how that fits with the team and how that fits with our overall organization. And then also as continue to be courageous, because right now we're seeing a lot of things are shifting and a lot of people are uncomfortable with change. And one of the main reasons, beside your infectious personality, I wanted you to come on the show, Julie, is that you really can help people grasp that sometimes when we don't wait till we're ready, right? But in the same time, when we know what we know, it's so important to lead with that confidently, courageously, and be voice for others and voice for voiceless, because in a lot of times people feel like what I have doesn't matter or it's not important, but in reality all of that matters, and all of that is very important, and in the same time can help so many people's lives. So do you mind sharing for everybody that watches and listens, how do you navigate also with people that want to change, but they're not putting the work in, or they're confused, or they have to do a lot of unlearning, right?
Yes.
Because what do you do in those scenarios?
One of the things I do once we get clear on where people want to go, or where an executive team or an organization wants to go, we move into what holds people back. And oftentimes it's limiting beliefs. And we have to do that work. We have to look at where that comes from. And we don't stay there. It's not therapy, right? Therapy deals with your past. Coaching moves you forward. And so we only go into the past long enough to figure out where it came from. Why do you have these limiting beliefs? Why are you holding yourself back? And once we establish that, then we can look at, here are your limiting beliefs. They can be a wide range of things, as far as I'm not enough, I can't do that. They're these statements that you hear when you're about to quit something, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to look at those. When you understand your limiting beliefs, you can reframe them and adopt more affirming beliefs. So there's another thing I do, which is mindset mastery. So we work on identifying limiting beliefs. Then we shift them, we reframe them. You have to call them out. So it is rewiring the brain. It's not as complicated as it sounds, though, because once you learn to do it, you'll recognize those limiting beliefs. And then you can say, that's not true. I see it, right? There it is again. That feeling that I'm not enough, but I am enough. And I believe in my ability to figure things out. And so that's a big game changer. Something else that I do with clients is really looking at what's holding them back. So something I learned when I taught power yoga were the 3 themes of Baptiste yoga, which are be a yes, give up what you must, and come from your ready now. And when you think about that, what do you need to give up? What's holding you back? Right? Then be a yes, say yes, and figure it out along the way. We have to empower ourselves. We have to give ourselves permission to say yes and figure things out as we go, because no one in the entire world knows all the answers, right?
Absolutely. And I love that attitude, and give yourself permission to come and show up and then do it, right? I love every piece of that information you just shared. And what's so interesting, Julie, distinction you pointed out which you're one of the few people that able to distill to say therapy is for events that occurred in past that hold you to move forward so that you can live a quality of life today. Coaching is propelling you from where you're at today to move you forward and reach highest possible outcomes and things that you never believed that it's even possible for you. That's what great coach does. So when we look at now how many people are freaking out, and you both know what that looks like, could you please share a little bit about everybody that is fearful, everybody that's stuck in the past, everybody, because I'm seeing so many people using the past narratives that are completely destroying not only present time, but definitely their future and actualizing their potential.
Well, that's a really good place to be when you can recognize that fear is holding you back. You have to get to that point of taking time to step back, to block out all of the noise and all of the ways that we numb out, because people will spend time, watching Netflix, binge watching, scrolling through social media. We do all these things that hold us back from self-awareness. And so you have to examine the fear. When you recognize the fear, I use the acronym false evidence appearing real. And we tell ourselves these lies, whether they're limiting beliefs or whether we blame situations. Oh, it's the economy. Oh, it's the president. Oh, it's the war. We take whatever's out there, and it's just human nature, and we start to blame it. But the truth is, it's all about personal responsibility. You have to take ownership of your life. Nobody else is going to do it for you. So you can blame, but blame is going to hold you in. And you can fear the future. You can fear the unknown, but it's still coming. So what good does it really do you? These are things that you really have to look at. You have to take the time to examine yourself. And what I always remind people, I think everyone that follows me on LinkedIn probably is sick of me saying, you are responsible for your attitude, your effort, and your actions, no matter what. So stop giving yourself an out. Take ownership of your life. Steer it where you want to go. If you have this amazing life that you desire, do the work to make it happen. It really is that simple. One of the ways we hold ourselves back is by making it complex. We say, oh, we need a different plan. We need to know the 50 steps to create an ideal life. We need to read 50 books about it. We need to watch 100 videos. We need to take our 18th online course. Procrastination is one of the biggest ways we hold ourselves back. We don't feel ready. But the truth is, most people are never ready. The ones that are successful are the ones that cultivate the courage to step into the future, and they take that one courageous step and they follow it with another courageous step. And that's how you do it. It's clarity, it's courage, it's commitment, it's believing in your ability to figure things out. And that's how it happens.
I love it. And I'm so glad you shared and delivered that, because again, as we're looking at current landscape and some things get more amplified than others, boils down to, again, guys, to all those three powerful C's. And Julie is a living example how she turned some things around and how she became a great brand and great influence and someone with great impact on LinkedIn, one of the obviously the most trusted platforms and social media. With that in mind, obviously you are living and leading with your legacy. You are walking the talk and you're already in there, entrenched. And obviously part of you, whatever you do today and years to come, will be also defining what you're going to be leaving as part of your legacy. And I'm curious, what is in the bucket list and what would you like to be remembered for? What is that legacy you want to leave?
So many great questions. I think I like to think in threes, like my 3 C's. So when I think about my legacy, I think about 3 words: awaken, empower, inspire. I seek to awaken people to the present moment. So like we were talking about with my content, it's about provoking thought or offering something that you can do right now to change your life. We have to get present with ourselves and with what's going on. And then we have to make choices that either take us closer to where we want to be or hold us back. And it's that simple. It's a choice. From there, it's about empowering people. My hope is that everyone that I come in contact with, everyone that I work with, from my clients to my community, to my children, that they're empowered to be the best version of themselves, to create a life that they truly love. That's the legacy that I want to leave so badly, because this is it. And I really believe that we get one life, and it's up to us what we do with it. And then from there, inspire. It's the ripple effect. Once I empower a client, they can then empower their community, their colleagues, their family. And so the ripple effect and the benefit extensions of one-on-one coaching are there, or also when I work with an executive team, when I work with leadership of a company and they begin to feel empowered, they start to empower their employees. And it's amazing what can happen when you're willing to dive in and do some work. So the legacy I really want to leave is that people are better, that they live a more fulfilling, empowered life, and that they also inspire others to live their best lives.
I love that. That is so beautiful and beautifully articulated. But look at, guys, the level of clarity and conviction this lady has. That's how clear you have to be, and so convinced in your own ability and achievements. And in closing, Julie, do you mind sharing where the people can find you and learn more about your amazing work? And if you have any closing comments for everybody watching and listening, so that they can springboard in 2023 with massive success.
Absolutely. Like we've mentioned a few times, I love LinkedIn. I think it's an amazing professional platform where you can connect with other like-minded individuals, where you can really become a better version of yourself by some of the content that's on that platform. So my name is Julie Hruska. Last name is Hruska. Find me there, connect with me there. That's one of the best ways to find me. The other way is my website. It's powerfulleaders.com, and my email address, which is direct access to me, julie@powerfulleaders.com. So those are all ways to find me. I'm also going to have a new streaming TV show in 2023 to be coming soon. So stay tuned for that as well. And in closing, I really hope that after listening to this show, you feel more empowered to go out there and create the life you truly desire, because it's there. You can access it. It doesn't matter where you start. It matters where you finish. And this is so important, because a lot of times those limiting beliefs say, oh yeah, she did it because X, Y, Z, or yeah, he was able to accomplish that because he had this and that, and I don't have that. That's a bunch of BS. That is not true. Those are all lies we tell ourselves. So whoever you are, wherever you're at, if you have clarity of where you want to be, if you have courage to go after it each and every day, and you stay committed, you don't fail in the follow through, you work hard every day with your goals in mind, you will achieve them. It is possible. Anything is possible if you're willing to do the work. So go for it.
Yay, that is fantastic. So Julie, what an honor. I'm glad we finally get a chance to get together on Legacy Leader Show and discuss all this amazing content. And guys, this is to be continued. We'll definitely circle back, and we want to wish you, Julie, phenomenal start of 2023. Cannot wait to hear and see your TV show you're launching, and many great things that are coming up.
Thank you so much, Izabela. This has been a pleasure. I am really grateful for our connection and all of the wonderful things you're doing to leave a legacy and make the world a better place. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you for listening to Legacy Leader Show. If you enjoyed the content and had a positive experience, then please leave us a positive rating. In addition, leave us a positive review whenever you are listening on whatever platform there might be. Make sure your friends and family also know about the benefit and value that we provide and what we have to offer. Cheers.